4, 6, 7,
4.
10, 12.
Put on my monument hat. Welcome in, everybody.
Hello.
Happy Halloween. Woohoo, spooky. Whoa. That was my Halloween pitch.
We don't have any spooky here at all. We have a lot of crazy.
We have a lot of serious business.
No, we have a lot of crazy.
We do. We do indeed. Danger Boy.
Are they going to post that crazy car
scene? I think
scene?
they have. I don't know if they've... Did they show you the car thing?
It's so good.
I'm going to tell them. Chris's costume is so scary. This isn't Chris. That's why it's so scary. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, everybody. We're painting Orks. The last day of ORKTOBER. And let me say, you guys have been crushing it with your submissions. We got a big review stream coming Monday.
It's going to be great.
Is that Baby J hosting? No. M3 Stout. He is hosting on Monday. Him, Grant, and myself will be reviewing all of the Orky submissions. Avian, what's going on? Panic Bomb, Swifter Bear, Brent, Paint Liquor. What a beautiful Friday. Alex WP. Welcome in, everybody. Jason, what are you doing?
I'm painting. I do this every day. It never really changes.
It doesn't. I guess I don't know what to expect every time I ask.
It's like you keep hoping for something new, which
well,
disturbs
I never know.
me because this is kind of why we're here.
No, I don't think you'll...
Is to do the painting.
I don't think you'll say something new. I just don't know what you're going to say about the thing.
Oh. I'm painting. Oh, God.
Ooh, excuse me.
Oh, God.
Slapjack,
okay
what's going
there?
on? Oh, I'm great.
Okay. You
My
okay?
bad. That's Chris. That is me. What? M3 Stout. You guys won't recognize me Monday. That's for dang sure.
I'm glad I'm leaving.
I'm shaving off my beautiful mustache. It will grow back.
What if it doesn't?
And there you go.
You're like, what if this is that time?
Like the one time it just doesn't grow back?
That's what happens, right? Everybody that I know that's like balding is like, well, there was just one time.
Luckily for me, I don't think I will ever have the problem of balding. My family has good hair genes.
And by good, he means lots.
Lots of hair. Yes. My dad's father, Louis, God rest his soul, had a full head of hair at 97.
That's awesome.
And my dad, full head of hair. His brother, full head of hair. My mother, full head of hair. Then we have baby Chris. That's technically not right, M3 Stout. But I'll let you. Are you donating it to Locks of Love or something, Lumberjack? Oh no, not Lumberjack. Flapjack. I cannot donate my mustache hair to Locks of Love. I believe there's also vigorous rules to actually submit that stuff.
Your hair?
I think so.
Yeah.
It has to be pretty dang pristine.
I mean, think about it. Who's gonna go? Nobody's gonna go into like a store and buy a bag of my hair.
Here you go. I don't know how that all works. It's very intriguing. Rogue says, "Not with that attitude." I guess that's... You have a point there.
I mean, I guess I gotta try it. People buy like Sydney Sweeney's bathwater, so...
Sydney Sweeney's bathwater.
I don't know if that's a thing. They bought somebody's bathwater.
No, Dr. Swatch does that. Like
Oh.
Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap or whatever.
Oh, is that what they did?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Pro Hair Acryl. Thank you, Danger Boy.
Ooh,
Pro
okay.
Hair Acryl. Pro...
This is made out of the hair of our victims.
Pro...
The hair of the conquered.
Pro Hair Acryl. I offered to try the first human hair brushes when I cut off all my hair.
What are we talking about again?
How
How did we get here?
Speaking of hair,
This is a painting show.
welcome in, everybody. We're doing some orcs. Jason, you're doing some non-metallic steel. Am I
doing
correct?
an orc, one orc right here. Me, not we doing multiple. Me doing one. Thanks, Chris.
Okay. All right. See what the doctor ordered today. And that was a little bit of a sass sandwich that I didn't order.
A can of whoop ass.
Not on my show. Sorry, my sense.
Up a can of whoop ass.
My sensor's way too slow.
A can of whoop ass.
No. Oh. That's not how that works. Please, YouTube, do not flag us. We mean well, and by well, I mean very well.
You don't know what he's spot.
Is this gun gonna be rusty? Is this a rusty gun?
No, I don't think so. I'm just using the same background colors as I'm going to for the rusty steel too.
Yes, Stan. Jason is painting metal. Therefore, we all know I know it's not metallic metal, but I wanted to know if it was steel, iron. Is it a flintlock pistol? Is it just metal?
Well, it has a cylinder.
Yeah.
So it's not a flintlock.
Okay. Oh, it's like an actual revolver.
It's a revolver. Yeah. There you go.
Is he a space pirate, or
No.
is he just a pirate?
I mean, I guess he could be technically. This could be some sort of.
Now, did they have this
ray gun?
Did they have this kind of revolver back in the day? But he's an orc, so
What's the day?
When is his day?
That's the thing, right?
It's this is a big one. Big Bob. I thought this would be finished by now.
One of those.
The orc with the golden gun. What's up, Grant? It's a pirate gun. Surely it must have a touch of brass. It could have a touch of brass. Speaking of finish, says Papa Chicken. Chris, you're fired. Not on Halloween. We are painting a beautiful orc bust. This bust is from Artel W. Speaking of the bust. What's up, Jade? Happy Halloween from the Resident Witch. Ooh.
I've met her. She's not a witch. She's very kind.
She's the nicest witch I've ever met. Let the record show. That is fact. Is it trick or treat, says Panic Bomb? That's
What?
a painting question.
What?
Is it trick or treat?
What?
Trick or treat?
What?
That's just the
what?
question from Panic Bomb. You put a question mark at the end of that, Panic Bomb.
What?
We post yes. You'll see it. Buns and Cabbage. Go check out the Discord channel. That is where you put your submissions. There is a sub-thread inside the challenge thread. That's where you post your final submissions and you tag me. And next month, it will be Grant who you tag.
What?
Let it be known.
Is he taking over?
Mr. Grant taking over the challenge. So Grant's going to be more involved with that. It's going to be great. We'll see a lot of more Grant on stream.
Oh, God, please no.
Oh, yes. Hey! Oh, that's the wrong button. Hey, thank you, Underskin81. Thank you for that sub. Can we still tag you just for fun? I'll ban you. So no.
Yes, you should tag him always.
At 1 a.m. in the morning, it's always great to hear from you, my beautiful children of the Discord. Lumberjack Chris, why is there a sub-thread? When did that change? No, is that, I don't know what it's called. It's a thread. It's the final submission thread of the challenge. It never changed. Well, I guess it changed many months ago. Many moons and months ago. So Lumberjack, you might not have done a challenge in a while. It's because it's way easier to organize. Way easier to organize.
Yeah, they get lost in the main section. So it
takes us a while to build that doc
in the final submission channel.
Right.
So that we can find them and post them, because we were missing them, because some people would be like, I finished mine, where's mine? And we were like, and it was like buried in a chain
because
of
you're all
messages
talking.
and stuff.
You're all talking in there.
All those
little gibber jabbering and snappy blooplins.
Yapping.
Jason, how do you like my purple and green lights? You
Stop
didn't
flapping your gums over there.
Oh wow. Jason.
I'm painting.
Jason
I'm
is.
keeping us on track here.
He didn't even mention my lighting. I thought he'd go, ooh, spooky. Didn't get it. I tried though. That's all that matters.
Is it?
I would say so. Yes.
Oh.
See what I had to deal with, chat.
Chris had me. I had to shoot a commercial this morning.
Yeah.
At like 8:30.
Yes. It was beautiful lighting.
It was really actually beautiful lighting.
Yeah. My color grade on it looks phenomenal.
Oh, here we go.
It's gonna look great.
Here we go.
What were you
send me a picture, and that picture looked phenomenal.
It's actually really funny.
You guys better be ready. This commercial is pretty awesome. The shortest script we've ever written.
It's all about you, chat. We're here to help you. That's all I'm gonna say. We're here to help. You know, I've been listening to that for the last 4 days to get inspiration.
Great.
A lot of that. Jason's new stripper lighting is cool. Wired, your ban, fired, canceled. This is spooky Halloween fun lighting for painting.
Oh, I'm seeing it now. It's purple. I see purple behind me. It's over there.
And do you see, I mean, look down.
Oh. There's yellow. Oh. And there's green. Huh.
It's Halloween.
Huh.
Chat. I'm crushed. This is it for me.
This is it for me.
This is it.
I thought I could survive another day here, but
I thought that was it. I thought that's how I could get them. But alas, failed.
You thought that was how you could get me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like jazzed up. Like, ooh, it's Halloween.
Am I not jazzed up?
For Halloween.
This is me being happy. I don't understand. This is me being excited.
It's base coat lighting. That's right. And see how it... There it is. That is the best second grade class picture I've seen.
This is me smiling.
This is me smiling. Papa Chicken, if you're going to have a heart about it, did you even eat a cookie? Oh, I see. Jade says, working on some cookies. One double batch uses 6 sticks of butter. Oh, man.
That was from the Papa Chicken part.
Oh, not the 6 sticks of butter?
No.
What does that sound like?
What does 6 sticks of butter sound like?
Yummy.
Do you want the before or after sound?
Here's the before and the after.
That's the after sound.
Grant says, everyone check out our amazing Halloween pics from our staff via IG. Oh. Go check it out.
Jacob comes wandering into my office playing music on a thing with a big piece of cardboard and suspenders. And I looked at him and I'm like, what? And he lays it out and he does the whole shtick.
Oh, I know. He's so good at that.
He acts it all out. And I'm like, oh, you're Titanic.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. He was so proud that I got it.
Yep.
I was like, I got it. I understand what you're doing now.
It's
he
perfect.
first walked in, and I don't know the Titanic music from Adam. I'm like, I don't know.
Near,
what this is.
far. That one.
That didn't sound like anything other than pain.
Near, far. I can't go high on the last note.
That sounds.
That will be
except
Jason's
like pain.
undoing of me. He will unravel the very fibers of my reality.
Who will?
You, if I continue to sing like that.
Oh, yeah, that's my superpower, is to unravel the fabric of reality.
Painting board. I really like the new Payne's Gray wash on blue and was wondering what you've enjoyed using brown gray and petroleum brown washes on. Great question.
I like the brown gray on basically anything where you think a brown wash is a choice, or a black wash, right? It can take the place of both.
Uh-huh.
And that it gives a really, really neat, dirty feel.
I love petroleum, the petroleum brown wash on teeth.
Yeah.
Like dirty teeth.
It's almost like a weird sepia color.
Yeah.
and it works great. So yeah, I'm a fan. Again, anytime you need a dirty color, both of those are great. The brown gray is going to give you more of a desaturated, like a blackish. It isn't black, but give you more of that kind of a feel for dirt. Whereas the sepia, or not the sepia, but the petroleum is going to give you some yellowish green tones in it, which are really cool.
I do like the petroleum wash.
It's a good.
It's a good. Painting board says, sweet. Wait, is this stream just the 7 circles of hell for Jason?
Yes.
No. What?
Yes, this is just like my life and hell on repeat. This is my purgatory.
Jason.
What?
No.
No, you don't think so?
Come on.
Have you ever met you?
No. Oh. I'm on Jason's hit list.
Hit list?
Yeah.
No.
To be hit.
No. No, I would never hit you.
Monument Hobbies shipping question from Lumberjack. Why can't I get a package shipped to a P.O. box?
Where's your P.O. box? If it's in a foreign country, they don't do that. You can get it shipped to a P.O. box in the U.S.
Derpstick says, what's the workup on this non-metallic metal?
So far, just Payne's Gray and Titanium White mixed together. Is all I'm doing.
Lumberjack says, I'm in PA. I'm trying to order the little version of the go bag.
It'll go to a P.O. box. It may not because they're only shipped UPS. And UPS doesn't do P.O. boxes. Go bags are a little bit of a different thing because they can only go UPS. USPS screws them up. Costs a fortune. And they always screw them up. So, yeah, the go bags don't deliver to P.O. boxes very well.
You
Number
could
one,
go.
they don't fit inside of anybody's P.O. box, and so they pull them aside, and then the post office always forgets where they're at, and we had a lot of problems there.
Yeah. You could find a local store that carries it and have them order it for you. Call our sales guys.
Or here's an idea. You live in Pennsylvania and have a postal address for your house.
That's also true.
I'm not trying to make a comment on how you like to get your mail there, Tim. So
I, unfortunately, have to have a P.O. box where I
you
live.
live in the middle of nowhere.
I live in society.
No, you don't.
I do. I truly do.
Okay, a society of 20 people does not count.
Jason.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. That's called a neighborhood, a village.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah. No, I mean, no.
How we doing up there, Jason? How's it going?
Oh, it's a day.
How you feeling?
It's great. I feel great. I'm happy to be here with you, Chris.
Well, you're gonna love the next 20 minutes then.
What's happening in the next 20 minutes? I'm excited.
Well.
What's going on in the next 20 minutes? Tell me. Anything cool?
My go-go
Something
dancers
fun?
aren't showing up.
Your what?
My go-go dancers are not showing up for you.
What?
We should show off.
Okay, look, I'm going to tell you something real quick before anything else happens today.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the day people could come steal my paint time to be on stream.
Yeah.
Today is not that day.
We'll steal it.
Okay, it's not that day.
We got it though.
Don't you dare have people show up in my
We
stream.
should show off what Ryan came today as, though. I'm just saying.
It was pretty funny. Guy Fieri.
No, go check out our IG. Don't miss it. Stan says, will you send paints to the UK? I can't find anyone in the UK stocking the expert acrylics. I asked Element, and they said they weren't stocking them.
Well, they're our distributor, so that's annoying. Yeah. I'm actually traveling to the UK next week to fix all this, so you can rest assured here very soon you'll be able to get your hands on everything.
And we mean everything. What's up, Michael Holtz? Hope everybody's having a great, fun Friday. Derp 6 already looks great, especially the buckle. Talking about the paint, the non-metallic steel.
This is that, that period where you're right before it's starting to actually
Like,
register
really-
as metal. The buckle,
Yeah.
it has a little less surface area, so the contrast is starting to pick out a little bit more there. But this next one, starting right now,
Is this your jump?
yeah,
Nice.
this is where we start to make the jump.
This is the jump.
You can see
Oh, what's that mix? That's
it's just
uh,
white, titanium white, and Payne's gray.
Very nice.
We'll start with the buckle.
No, Terrence Watkins, you do not have all weekend to turn in your orc. You have to do it by midnight tonight, Mountain
Yeah.
Standard Time.
Yeah.
We will review them on Monday, but you do not have an extra 3 days or 2 days. So get your act together and hold on to your butts, says Ryan Scurvy. Yes, we are making the jump. That's right. Start to see that shine on there. Oh. Making me cry. Terrence Watkins, no, that's the rules. We can't break the rules. Well, you can, don't break the law. Break the rules, not the law. There you go. But don't break these rules. Otherwise, you're disqualified. It's the name of the game. Jade says, Chuck here. Oh, okay. I see Chuck through Jade, Jade through Chuck. In today's episode of Adventures in Machine Shops, one of our second shift operators fell into a Swiss lathe, slipped on a puddle of oil, and he said wasn't a problem. There apparently was, in reality, a problem.
That's horrible.
That sounds like something that's very sharp, if that's what that is. And that would suck. Danger Boy, not yet, but we will announce it ASAP. Grant is thinking of a challenge, so stay tuned. We'll never lead you astray, Danger Boy. You never contribute, but I really should. Hey, if you've never done a challenge, Danger Boy, if you're talking about just ideas, there's an ideas challenge too. Or not challenge, channel. Stan, Chris, be nice with my entry. I made a mistake, but decided to live with it and get some advice on how to do it better next time. Hey,
Awesome.
That's the whole point, Stan.
These are not competitions.
That's
so
right.
Feel 100% confident in the fact that the team will grab the good and lead you down that path. We're here to inspire, not to blow people's hopes and dreams out of the water. So again, just kind of sketching right in on a line where all of my other bright colors are going or have been placed. I've already made the decision a while back on where to put all of this. It now is just, adding in the little scritches and determining how bright I want the shine to be. This is not intended to be like a really bright, polished metal.
Avian, you do not suck. Don't talk about my friend Avian that way.
Yeah,
So if I
that's
suck,
not a
I can
thing.
still enter in the model? You don't suck. False. Negative. Ready, mate. First time chat. Welcome in. What green paints do you use to achieve that smooth green color skin? Looks very organic. Great question.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, number one, go back and watch some of the stream where we painted this, because this is done with a method called underpainting or overpainting, however you want to call it. I started out with the dark purple primer that you see that's on like the feather and the back of the model, because I'm not really painting the back of the model. So it was a dark purple primer, and then we started off with some of the. I'm only painting this with expert acrylics, so we started out with the sap green, and then moved to the permanent green light from our expert acrylics, and then over the top of that started painting flesh tones. I made the flesh tones out of all the expert acrylics using the primary yellow, white, and magenta, and some of the burnt umber, and then started putting regular skin tones on it, and then went back with the green, the sap green, and did a filter, basically like a glaze over the top, so that all of the skin tones created the brightness and kind of life, adds life to the skin is the right way to say it.
Ozzy, Half Daft Dog, welcome in. Husker Du, T. Schmid.
Mainly because of the fact that I'm choosing to only paint this with the expert acrylics, and so the expert acrylics has 16 colors in the line. I have a few other colors that we have here that I get to cheat in, that are the next 6 coming out, but for the most part this is all done, you know, with mixing in mind. Like, I know I'm going to have to mix to get the colors I want. The steel that I'm doing right now is a simple one of just white and Payne's gray. You get all of the various colors of blue gray ishness that you see me working with.
Ozzy, first Monument paints arrived. Nice.
Awesome.
I have dark ivory and bright neutral gray, also flesh and magenta wash. Sweet.
Fantastic.
Good stuff. K. Shorta says, why with just the expert acrylics?
Just every now and then I like to do that. It really focuses in. I mean, it's a great way for us to show people the power of the expert acrylics, even though in general I'm not trying to tell people that this is the only way you can use them, but it shows their strength on how they can carry an entire model very, very well, and give you maybe inspiration to go kind of challenge yourself to make something like this happen. If you have, again, a limited color palette, I'm working with 16 colors, technically 22, because like I said, I've got the new ones here. I haven't used them a whole lot in this, but we could if we wanted to. It's always fun to do things like this where you've got the ability to
Challenger. It's almost like a
it is.
mini
It's a challenge for
you
me, right? It's a challenge because I can't. And there have been times during this where I've looked over at my regular paint rack and been like, I have that color that I want right there. And then it's like, okay, but I got to figure out how to do it in a different way. And that's really good. It's refreshing to some extent in kind of a masochistic way. I'm not one of those people that tells you, oh my gosh, you got to paint in CMYK or it ain't real art. But I will say that it is good to press yourself into that kind of uncomfortable zone from time to time to remind yourself of techniques you may have forgotten, things you may have lost, things you may have considered to be not important anymore. Because you'll start, when you don't have, and we talk about this a lot, when you don't have color as a crutch. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I don't think the crutch is negative. I just mean that a lot of times we fall victim to, if you're painting leather, I'm going to grab the browns I use all the time. We talk about our recipes that we love, and you know, we get used to using them. This is how I do red. This is how I do my yellows, yada, yada, yada. Great. That's good. It's good to have those resources, have those tools. It makes painting a lot easier. But it's also good to challenge yourself, step outside the norm, and say, what if I didn't have that red? What if I didn't have that yellow? How would I still do it? How would I make a good color palette? You know, do all the things I want to do with the non-metallics, like I'm doing here, and you know, bring life and character and tell stories with the model that I'm painting when I don't have 192 colors I can grab at any whim. So that's what I'm doing.
And a great question from Stan to follow up. Jason, are there any painting techniques or styles you struggle with or try to avoid doing?
I don't think so. Not really. I mean, if somebody named, you know, like if there was a encyclopedia of all the things, you'd know very well if you'd been watching here very long that there are some that, I don't see him do that very often. But no, there's none of them that I'm afraid to say, oh yeah, let's try that. You know, or here, if somebody comes in, you've seen me for the better part of 9 years, people come in and say, how do I do this? And I'll be like, let me show you.
Yeah.
So, I'm very comfortable. I may not choose to use all of those in my own painting all the time.
Like your personal painting?
Yeah, I love texture on things, as you can probably see from this guy.
Oh, I was about to say, I like how you do your textures, like they're bold.
Well, I like
they
to have
stand out.
textures. It feels a little bit more painterly to me, and I don't even know what that term means.
I think it means, yeah, that makes sense to me.
But it makes it like, too smooth of a blend, I think takes character away from materials. There's a place for it. There's things that you want to be hyper clean. And when they're hyper clean, you want smooth blends. Because we paint, war dollies most of the time, very little of what I'm painting is gaining a lot of benefit from being hyper clean, I don't think. So you'll see me paint with more texture. And so my brushstrokes get looser. I'm not an extremely fast painter, as people laugh in chat. I'm an extremely slow painter. But I still like to do the kinds of things that make the process feel a little bit quicker as I go, because I get bored looking at the same part of the model for too long. So if a task painting that part of the model takes me too long, I get bored with that part, and I don't like that. So, I like big loose brush strokes and textures, but no, I don't really think there's a thing that I look at and say, oh God, not that.
So what is Swig and Swift says, what is CMYK?
Cyan, magenta, yellow, and the chromatic colors of white and black. It's what you can, in the world of like printing, your printer uses CMYK to do color prints, because it can mix those colors together, technically those 5 colors, but really those 3 hues, and then the chromatics together to get just about anything you want, right? So you can create any color out of them. You just have to mix, right? It's time consuming. It's not always what you want to be focused on, but it is a really good way to approach painting, because it will give you the skills to understand mixing, because that's the only way you're going to get the color, is by mixing. And so a lot of people use it more as a test or as a cool way to provide content to show people, look at what you can do. It is a really good way to remember that you're never limited by the colors you own. You can always mix them to get more colors than are on your shelf. That's a huge thing. That's what I'm always trying to show people. Not that I want you to mix all the time, right? We've done CMYK challenges on the Discord and yada, yada, yada. I'm never trying to impose that on people. What I'm trying to say is that, look, you're never beholden to just the paint you own. You can always dig deeper in your collection by mixing and creating a scenario that makes it seem like you have a lot more color than you've actually bought. And that's great. A lot of people are afraid of mixing, especially if you're just starting out in the journey of art in general with painting miniatures, because we have such a ridiculous collection of color in the miniature world, right? So many manufacturers making color, so many lines with tons of color. So you're rarely lacking for a paint. You can buy snot bottom green, and not have to mix it. Green. and so I know that there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh yeah, but mixing scares me, and so we just try to take the mystique away from it. You'll find me laughing because a lot of times I'll mix colors that we own, that we actually make, and I'll be like, look at this mix I make. Oh yeah, that's exactly warm brown. Thanks.
Yeah. AVN. Okay, actual question. In regards to volume and your light and dark, have you have an edge which you would normally get hit by light. However, it has dirt, rust, and whatnot. Do you suggest on how to approach it? Diffuse the light by stippling, mute the highlighted colors, question mark?
I mean, if it... Okay, so it would normally have a highlight, but it has a rusty effect on it.
Yeah.
Or highlight it, and then weather it. You're going to see me do that with this gob, right? I'm highlighting it as if there's nothing wrong with it, and then we'll put the rust over it, and you'll notice that it acts more like the actual physical rust would act, and that it darkens the surface it lays on, but it dulls it too, right? It means that, yeah, there might have been a brighter shine there at one point, but it got covered with a little skim of rust, and so now it's not as shiny. And by glazing the rust over the top of the shine I've already baked on here, it'll tell that story. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you'll hear me say that a lot. I tend to paint models as if they're brand, well, not brand new, they are what they are, right? The colors don't have any added weathering or anything like that. And then I do the weathering after it's painted. So here I'm just using the colors that the things would be. And then at the end, I'll go and put the rust color over it, rather than adding the rust like right now, if that makes sense. Because you could just paint this in rusty colors if you wanted the metal to be rusty, and some people will do that. I prefer to paint it unweathered and then do the weathering after, because it lets me set up all my shine, put everything where I want it to be, and then lay the weathering over the top of that shine and hide it where it needs to be hidden, or dull it where it needs to be dulled, or let it show through. Right? It's like all of these edges will be bright where I need them bright, and then I can darken them up and it'll look natural, as opposed to trying to go back and paint bright edges in between weathered spots later on down the road, which is a pain in the nuts.
Frigid Phoenix says, need to thank you all for the interaction on Twitter. You all made my fiance's year replying to her tweet about the SOARS veterans we painted and posted.
Holy cow, those are great. I love the bright colors. I probably am the one that responded to you there. I loved them. They looked really good.
First time checking art says, are you able to use the transparent paints to achieve a candy paint job? Do they work similar to clear paints?
You can definitely create a candy paint job with them. Realize that what gives those types of what I call automotive effects their punch is the clear coat.
Okay.
And our paints do not have like a built-in 2K gloss to them, right? So if you're going to do candy, when you paint with our transparent paints, it's going to come out fairly matte, because what we're building paints for is the ability for you to control lighting and have it look exactly the way you want it. Whereas candy coat paints and things like that usually come glossy because they want to be shiny, and most of the effect is done but through the shine and the gloss of the paint. You would have to use our paints to get the color down and then put like a gloss varnish over the top to really drive it home. But definitely doable.
Frigid Phoenix says, they were all done with Pro Acryl submitted to Gamers Guild for the Colors of the Realm competition. Monument, thank you so much, Jason.
That's awesome.
That's super cool. Gamers Guild, I
didn't realize those
that.
were local. Or maybe they're not local, but they were submitted to because Gamers Guild's local to us.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I just look around and find cool stuff that inspires me and gets me jazzed to see other people painting, and I like it and comment. So thank you for tagging us so I can see it, because there's a lot of stuff out there I don't see.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do a monochromatic model with a green OSL. I tried to do a glazing technique. It turned out really flat looking. Any suggestions on a different way to do it?
When you say flat looking, are you trying to glaze the OSL straight over the colors that you laid down? So like if I painted monochromatic grays, and then are you saying that you just glaze the green right over the grays? Because when doing that, you want to build your OSL up with whites first, right? And let the whites do most of the heavy lifting. Put the white as your light, and then color your light is the way I teach people. So that, you paint the model. Like if I wanted to do an OSL on this guy, I just continue painting him like I'm doing. Then when I get done with all the color, I would go back with white in the areas I need it to be the colored light in. And then let the white be the light. And then once the light is all placed correctly, hits the points that I want it to, then come back with the color of the light, in your case green, and do the green over the white, if that makes sense. That helps to not have that flat look, right? Because the white knocks you can do the white thin, like with our transparent white is my favorite way to do it, and you can knock the colors back. So again, your monochromatic color scheme, you can knock it back with the transparent white. It still lets some show through, but not enough to really be vibrant enough base colors that desaturate the green. Because when you put the green glow color over the top, it starts to desaturate with whatever colors are underneath it. And if they're too bright and vivid, then yeah, your green, you just kind of lose it, and it could look, I guess, what you're calling flat. If I'm understanding correctly the question.
Non-metallic Meatball says, are there instances where it would be best to glaze in shadows after the main layers are finished, or is it generally better to keep the shadow defined from the beginning? Less of the shadows under facial features and accessories, and more shadows the opposite of the OSL.
I mean, so I always like to have the shadows baked in first, but in the process of painting, especially when doing things like OSL, you may lose some of that, right? Depending on how you're applying it, glazing it on there, airbrushing, whatever, you might have to go back in and then apply some of your shadows again. Don't ever be afraid to do either. There's not a version of right and wrong when applying effects like that, especially OSL. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of balancing your brightness with your darkness until it reads correctly. And it's not always as simple as just putting, like I said, putting some white on the model and then the color of light. Sometimes you got to do that 2 or 3 times back and forth. Put the white, put the color, then put some more white, then some more color, more white, more color, maybe then some shadow because you over brighten it, and keep working at it. Realizing that as long as you're doing all these layers thinly, then you can continue to build them as you need. You're never at a spot where you're like, oh, ruin that.
Absolutely. Anytime. We love those questions. Ozzy says, can I spray washes/transparents with an airbrush to use it as a glaze?
Yep, 100%.
I just found the magic and power of that recently with my Telemon dreads with the back glow on their little backpack things.
Yeah, you did a really good job with that orange glow, by the way.
Yeah, it was the first time actually just trying them through the airbrush, and I'm like, wow, this is great.
Yeah, they were great.
Do I do it with the transparents and some of the wash medium with a few drops of water? ?
Yeah, treat it like a normal paint. Remember, the transparents are just normal paints.
Mm-hmm.
You could just see through them more, so you don't have to thin them for opacity as much as you might have to another color.
Yeah.
But you still do want to dilute them down so that they flow through the airbrush great. You'll notice with the transparents, because they are so pigment intense, that your airbrush will take longer to clean. Make sure you invest that time and do clean it properly.
Yeah.
The transparents, you run transparent green or blue through your airbrush, that airbrush is going to look green or blue for a while. So knuckle down and keep it clean.
Why is that?
They're just got that much more pigment in them.
Yeah. That's crazy. That is true. I did clean that airbrush out at home when I was doing that quite a bit. But I really like the effect. Bag acryl levels of pigment. There you go, Flapjack. There you go. Okay.
I don't know what he speaks.
I don't know what he speaks.
That man knows not what
that was very, very, well, what's the term? Very regal of you, Jason.
I know not of what that man speaks. Only
Ozzy, maybe when he gets back, we'll teach me non-metallic metal.
I would love to do that, Chris.
I think we're gonna do it.
Do you have the cojones?
I do have the cojones. I have the
did it.
model, and I will prep that model. So next week we've got a lot of cool, fun win-win times happening. Get ready.
Jen was able to survive painting with me and do a great job.
Oh, I'll be able to survive. I'm very
OSL.
excited for it.
Her non-metallic metal.
I want to do I want to get my model prepped.
Here we go, chat. Don't let him not prep his model.
No,
chat.
I'll prep it. You have my word, chat. We'll find a time when Jason gets back. We'll find a time when Jason gets back. How about that, Jason? Are you down for that?
I don't know what you just committed to. You said you'll find the time once I'm back.
Yeah.
So can you give me a due date?
You want a due
What's
date
the date?
immediately?
Yeah, what's the date?
All
when
right.
are we doing this, Chris? Commit.
Let's do.
Stop being non-committal.
Me, I am the opposite of non-committal. Yeah, I had to use tone with Jason. I don't like having to do that, but sometimes I got to use a tone. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do.
You would have to put up with this belligerence.
I'm a good man. I don't care what anybody says about Jason, but I am a good man.
How is it that you don't care what they say about what? Wait, what?
Somebody said that to me the other day. I'm like, I don't care what anybody says about you, man. Just as a joke, and I've adopted it.
Well, I say that too, but that's how that's supposed to work. It's like I don't care what anybody says about you, Chris.
I
think
care.
you're okay.
Yeah, I know.
That's the way
but
it's supposed to be.
you
It's
mean
not
it-
supposed to be.
You mean it?
I don't care what anybody says about you, Jason. I like me. Like,
Yeah,
what?
but sometimes
Huh?
Jason, I don't know.
Excuse what?
I don't know about Jason
I
sometimes.
don't know about Chris.
Jason, it's Halloween.
And
Get spooky.
I have been spooky all day. I know what that means.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I don't believe in all your paganism.
We'll do it the week that you get back because
Chris
you'll probably
Chris is
wanna
a good
rest.
Christian boy too, and here he is all paganing out.
And I'm gonna be barfed tonight for Halloween.
Freaking guys, man! It's like let's go to church and it's all great, and let's dress up like.
Jason's coming tonight too. He said he's
not.
gonna dress up full orc style.
Orc style? What does that even mean?
Orky, like an orc. Like you're gonna be an orc tonight.
Oh, okay.
We can do it. Let's do.
I do have that costume that Peter Jackson sent me.
Oh, I would not be happy with you if that was an actual real thing. If
If
you
you
have
knew
never
that
told
this
me that.
entire time that hanging in my closet in the house that you stayed at, that you never, that's how I knew you never went in the closet. I kept telling Jen, I was like, I wonder if he's going to go in the closet and see the thing. And she's like, you know what? If he does, we'll know because he won't be able to keep it to himself. And so this is how we know how good of a house sitter Chris is. And I this is a real compliment to you, Chris, is that he never once went into the closet. The closet was locked. He didn't go because he didn't see the thing.
He's lying straight through his teeth. You guys believe any of this? I don't know this man.
Jen will get on here.
Did you guys find my surprise?
No.
Oh. Well.
Surprise.
You'll have to find it.
Jen may have. She hadn't told me anything about it. I don't think there's a surprise. But there is a costume hanging in the closet.
I don't believe you.
Yep. It's a goblin.
Jason, you would have told me that.
It is a goblin from the Lord of the Rings.
Jason, you would have told me that.
Nope. It's the full armor from the waist up.
Jason, you would have told me that.
I would not have. Why would I have told you that?
Where'd you get it?
It was on auction, and we won it.
Okay.
It was not given to me by Peter Jackson.
Jason, why haven't you told me this?
Why would
I don't
tell you
believe you. You're full of it. I don't believe any of this.
Chet.
There are business questions, and you have me derailed. Lumberjack says, I'm debating, okay? Faded green
Just
or...
by yourself?
I think so. Lumberjack's debating with himself right now. Faded green or green gray for roguish cloaks started with black green.
Okay. Faded green or gray green and black green. I like faded green with black green a lot. But I think both would work. I think that comes down to what do you want it to look like. The faded green, I think, is going to be more green in the end when done with the black green than the gray green will. The gray green is going to desaturate it more and lose more of the green. So I think it really just depends on how you want all that to look at the finish line. I'm just stippling little dots here, by the way. Rather than, it looks like I'm just pulling a line, but I'm not. I'm stippling a little dot so that it gives it kind of the metal as a barrel is made is turned. And so there might be inconsistencies along the cylinder there. So there you have it. Gun.
Okay, shorties, have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Have a great time.
It's a gun.
Enjoy the nice, beautiful weather if it's beautiful in your area.
If it's not, suck eggs.
Ozzy says, sorry for asking again. Hey, never have to apologize, but how do you make brass and gold look different on a model? Mostly how to make brass that isn't looking totally gold in non-metallic metal. The difference between brass and gold non-metallic metal.
A lot of times we say whether or not you use orange or green. You know,
Okay.
I use greens in a lot of my golds, and I really like that. That is probably more of a brass feel, whereas the gold, if you want to pull it off and have the viewer see it right, the gold would be a little bit more orangey. In the real world, that's only the case with like what I call dookie gold,
Dookie gold?
like
Oh, yeah,
gold-plated stuff tends to be a little bit more, orangey yellow. But that's one way. You can use more green on your gold. But other than that, they're very, very similar. So a lot of times brass is something where I'm telling people just paint it like you would paint gold. It's not going to make a difference. You can tell people it's brass or whatever. They're not going to know. Look at the brass handle. The whole reason you see brass on like toilet paper holders and stuff is because it's cheap man's gold.
Cheap man's gold.
Right? So it's trying to be gold.
Yeah.
From a why we decorate with it standpoint. So I think just paint it like gold and not really worry too much about whether or not their coloring is correct, because that's going to be really difficult to pull off in a way that people would recognize. Oh, I love the brass you did. It's so great that it's like that instead of gold. Now, if you do want to try to pull that off, like I said, greens. Use more greens and don't use any oranges in your brass. Use greens and then just little less warm yellows. Use cooler yellows like our golden yellow rather than warm yellow type stuff.
Cool yellow.
Bismuth is a cool yellow.
Now Metallic Meatball says Dookie Gold is a great new metallic color.
Dookie Gold.
Jason has been. I
got that from how to something in South Central while drinking juice in the hood. What was that comedy show?
I have no idea.
It was a comedy movie that was.
No idea what you're talking about.
Well, there you go. Big help, Chris.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even know what to start typing. Southwestern Dookie Gold Hazard something other. Oh, that's bright.
It was this is just pure white now.
Oh man, that's a big jump. Oh, very bright. TK says, I know what Jason's saying, and he totally butchered it. Oh. Alex WP says, what's the plan on the feather?
Oh, hey, how about you just don't get ahead of yourself over there?
Alex WP is asking about the feather, Jason.
Hey, I'm just saying, maybe y'all stay in your lane.
Frank Baker.
I'm not trying to think about that feather right now. It's funny that as you mentioned that, I'm sitting here seeing it out of the corner of my eye going, I don't want to paint that right now. I'm not going to do it. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. The feather's kind of a problematic situation for how I'm doing my colors. Yeah, because it's like in my brain, it wants to either be very colorful like we talked about, like macaw style colorful, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or it wants to be really dull, like a
just like a big white and gray feather.
Yeah, like and neither one of those appeal to me with the way I painted the model.
Really?
Yeah, neither one of them do. So that's a problem, right? I need to figure that out, and I could come up with colors, but then it wouldn't feel like maybe feather colors, like things that I would be normally associating with feather color. Doesn't mean we can't make up our own. It's fantasy, so who cares? But I have that problem a lot of times. Probably good to talk about it. I run into that a lot of times where I'm like, in order to paint this and make it look like a feather, I have to create colors for it that wouldn't normally be associated with feathers in order to work good work well in my my composition overall. And so that's a thing that hangs me up sometimes because I'm like, well, I just don't want to paint it.
Panic Bomb, do you want to be banned, or do you?
Panic Bomb,
do you
what
want
are
to
you doing?
Panic Bomb says, "Why isn't the back primed?" I don't know. Why isn't the sky green? Like, there you go.
Wow, Chris, remember when we had your last review?
Yeah.
We talked about maybe being nicer to people.
I never got that in my review.
Nicer to people, Christopher.
I'm extremely nice.
Especially chat.
Panic Bomb though, banned, canceled. Destroyed.
I try, chat. I try. I have it. I have your best interest in mind. I just can't get good professional help.
Ugg Monday says, "What about more brown feather?" And then Avian says peacock, and then Bud says flamingo.
Flamingo.
Is it a fantasy flamingo?
Flamingo.
How does Jason know chat isn't just a giant AI Chris made up? Beep boop.
Because you predate Chris.
That's right. It's called BC, everybody. Or are you? I told you I was an FBI plant from the get-go, trying to take Jason down. I got him. Mr. President?
That's where your tax dollars are focused, people. Take down the guy who paints models on Twitch. I'm the threat.
We got him. Beep boop. Flapjack says, the good news is orc pirates don't actually exist, so you don't have to pick a real bird's feather to paint it. Whoa, Flapjack. Whoa, take it easy, man. That's too much. It's too much
See,
facts.
that's what I'm saying is that's the hard part for me. You guys know me if you've watched this stream very long, is that I have my vision for things is fairly rooted in reality. It doesn't mean that I'm painting for reality all the time, but my vision for things starts there. And so it's difficult sometimes to drag myself away from it and just say, okay, well, what colors would look good in this? And let's just use those. Because the other half of my brain, right, is saying, nope, it has to look like a bird feather. Like if you're painting a bird feather, I want to hand this model, because I am a big proponent of being able to hand your model to someone and have them understand what you were trying to do without you telling them. That's why I love and teach the way that I do. I love being able to say, hey, use textures that make it look like the material it should be, as opposed to just color, because that'll help people see your story and your storytelling much better. And that goes right along with it. You know, if I paint it in colors that are, you know, maybe not indicative of, you know, the way every bird feather looks, but something similar. So for feathers and stuff, I tend to look at reference pictures quite a bit.
Jade says he's a pirate. He stole the feather from Percival.
Yeah, it's molded the same as the feather from Percival, which we could do that purple to yellow, but again, it just doesn't fit for the design that I have on the rest of the model, which is why I'm saying that it's part of the back, because you can't see it from here.
You get to chop it off?
See, you can't see it from here. I wish I could. It's connected to the hat. I would just... Oh, rats.
I ain't doing that, dude.
Rats. I wish that I would have been more careful.
Oopsie-poopsie.
Wish I would have been more careful. What do we think about the metal? Is it looking, tracking?
I think it's looking great. So is this the stage where you would do the glaze, or are you going to do more brightness?
We'll start stippling in the rust and stuff on it.
Stippling in,
after
okay.
This. We'll do some textured filters for handling the rust. Up next. Don't go away. You won't want to miss it.
Okran says, this is an ostrich feather, and they use these because they take dyes really well. You can color whatever you like. Oh. Or not. Says Okran. Or not. But that's a good idea. Jason and I are going to take a trip down to the ostrich farm, down to going towards Tucson.
Not going to happen. I'm not going anywhere with this man.
Him and I are going to go down to the ostrich farm and see if we could get an ostrich to paint.
If ever there's a time, chat, when you know that Chris and I are traveling together, I'm going to need you to be ready to put out a silver alert.
A silver. Good night. I'm just saying, Jason came over to me today in particular. He was very jovial, and he skipped over to my desk and said, Chris, do you think it's possible to get an ostrich to paint? And I said, Jason, anything is possible. It was a great conversation.
Something about positive attitude.
Opportunity. What's November's challenge going to be? Panic Bomb? I don't know because you're banned. So
we don't ever mention the challenge, what it is, until the month is over. And the month ain't over.
Hey, Panic Bomb? Fired. Banned. I don't know why. I don't know where. I don't know, man. I have an idea. Grant came up with an idea.
Uh-oh, look out.
So get ready.
Look out.
It's going to be a fun one, but no, you'll just have to wait. You like that response, Panic Bomb?
He didn't. I can already answer for him. I know he didn't like it because I didn't like it. You're getting a little sassy over there.
Blood Walrus says, we know that's a lie, Chris, because there was no do-do-do-do-do-do. That's true. Thank you, Blood Walrus. He did not. That's my tell. When Jason, when I say a story about Jason, if he doesn't skip and sing to me, it ain't true. Are you posting it on Saturday, or is everyone just losing 2 days? False wad.
You lose 2 days. You've been here. You know how this
Jason, no,
works.
Jason, I've been posting them
What?
the day after.
Okay, there you go.
You're welcome, world. I work for you nonstop.
That's a lie, but
I'm talking about chat, Jason.
Okay.
I make sure you get your challenge. And it's gonna be Grant going forward.
that's a lot of that's a lot of responsibility because Chris
It
just
is.
said I do it right. Now it's somebody else.
No, I've made a beautiful template for Grant, and I have built out a success program in which he will take the baton, use the baton, and Pro Paint Taster says, I have an amazing idea. See, Grant is already on top of it. Now I just will help him make it pretty. Beep, boop.
Grant, I apologize for Chris.
Don't apologize for me. I'm
Okay.
a grown man.
Oh, okay. Would you mind apologizing for yourself?
No, Grant. I'm never sorry. I'm kidding. I apologize. You're a good person, Grant. Has anybody ever told you that?
Never.
Okay, Grant, that's false. Grant says, next painting challenge. Paint only with noosh. That'll...
Just noosh?
Just noosh.
That one's funny.
How are you going to do this? How would you paint something with just noosh, Jason?
Do you get to add color to it?
We could do something like that. See, Grant, you could just say you have to use noosh in your project. See? Or we can stick with the idea that you have.
Chat, thank goodness all of these have to run past me first.
No, Jason, that's no longer happening.
Oh,
You are
Sorry,
dismissed.
Chat. I thought I could protect you. Sounds like you're just painting with noosh.
No, I will announce what Grant is thinking. We'll get Jason's opinion. Let's see what Jason thinks about this. Grant wants to do, let me pull it up, painting a pattern challenge with freehand patterns.
We just did that.
When?
We just did one that needed freehand stuff, didn't we?
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Oh. Then I like it.
Noosh November, see hired, that would have been good. Noosh November. Noof to pop. Pro Paint Taster said, Grant says, we didn't. I looked.
Okay. Maybe we just talked about it.
We've talked about it in the past. I do like that idea, Grant. New Shave November. Noosh November. Nooshvember. We could do that too. It's up to Grant. But you would have to use color with noosh. We'll make that clear. Everybody. Gotta have some color with the noosh, okay? Grant says, with patterns, we can do all the plaid Jason loves. That one's on you, man. I can't follow you.
That one.
I can't.
I just did it. I think what I remember is that we talked about doing that when I was doing the Surfer Girl and did the wood.
Yeah, we never.
Rain.
We did. Yes, you did some good freehand on stream. They have not attempted.
You don't know that. There's a lot of people out there that may have done a lot of freehand.
I meant for a challenge.
Oh, okay.
We haven't like specifically said, "Hey, pattern freehands."
Yeah, gotcha.
I hope people would give freehand a try based off of that stream. Frank Baker said, "Out with the old, in with the noosh."
Gun barrel.
Oh, shiny.
Zoom in super close. Give me a super tight. Give me a super tight on one. Did I say that right? Super tight on camera one.
You did.
I want you to look at that sepia wash and how it set on those teeth. Remember when we ended the stream yesterday and we just kind of threw it on there?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Looks
The
good.
way that the Sepia Expert acrylic just with water loaded up in it, and the way it fell over those teeth, they look awesome.
It does.
Very simple.
That's just sepia.
And then metal. All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, enough. Cool, fine, great, thanks.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
I need some burnt sienna now. Burnt.
You going?
Sienna.
You going rusty?
Some rust.
So
some rusty stuff.
How would you start applying your rust here?
Well, I'm gonna show you. Oh, you want me to talk it out?
I would like to, because this is a good bit. After putting down rust.
In a perfect world, I would take our new medium and put this in there and show it off. But I don't want people to get super mad at me.
No, don't do that, because
I'm going to load my brush with a ton of water. Look at how dirty my brush is. Holy hell. First, I'm going to wipe the brush off a little bit better. That's a little bit too much.
We do encourage you to clean your brushes with Gentastic's Brush Goop 2.0 after every paint session.
Brush soap someplace.
Okay.
All right. So the brush with however much water it'll hold, right? Loaded with water. And then I'm going to put that and pull a tail out of this burnt sienna here. It's a nice orangey, rusty color, right? So I get a really good glaze. So over all of my steel colors that I have on my thumb palette, this is what you're going to get. Okay? Make sense? And then you're just going to put enough water in your brush to load it the way you want to put the effect where you think it needs to go. And in this case, if you want to pull in a little tight, I'm going to load it up into the shadows first, right? So I'm just going to kind of poke it into shadows around the outline of these armor panels. You can imagine how the grit and the grime would build up down low. So kind of the end product of most washes we do, where we get that build up in the low spots, but I'm having to kind of just poke the paint in there.
Yeah.
Right? And I can outline on the other sides too. I kind of want to look at it from a perspective of like where gravity would take it over time, but I can have it underneath. You could basically just go ahead and draw an outline around all of these panels if you wanted to. Just paint. And I'm kind of doing like you would a panel lining, where I'm just touching the brush into the recess and the paint kind of fills in. So lots of water on the brush, dip it in my paint, and then just kind of poke it into the recesses. And it will, as it dries, blur around the edges to make that really nice and leave us with that brownish orange color in there. We can kind of stipple it around in places too if I want.
Where do you know to place this, Jason? Where do you know to place the rust? I'm just kind of making
it up as I go. It's really, you think if things were going to get rusty and then rust was going to run through wetness or whatever, that it would run downwards and get caught on the upper lip here, right? But I can also do it in things where I just want to kind of put it in my mid-tone area. If you put this over your highlight, it's going to be really bright orange. That's not what we're going for. So the biggest thing is to kind of scoop it into shadows and mid-tones first. So let's do that here, right? Kind of run it into the mid-tones. I'll run it over that bright scratch there too. And just keep it to the dark side of each of these teeths. Because then it makes it a very subtle color.
Yeah.
As opposed to if I put it out real quick on the bright spots alone. Sometimes it's just too much color. Right? But I can come in here on the dark side of it with it very thin, and it'll just kind of blend and inherit a lot of the value or lack thereof of the darker end of these teeth. Feel free to use your finger to smudge it. You can stipple it around and then smudge.
Yeah.
The smudge does wonders when doing this kind of stuff. I think we just did that the other day on something else.
Why is that?
Just because it blends, right? It blends everything because it picks up a lot of paint. So when doing weathering, we did it on the streaking. Somebody had asked me about how to do rust streaks and things like that. And we took like one of the washes and did it. And I used my finger to pull the streak down. Same kind of thing here. Your finger can be used as a blending tool, much like a piece of cloth or sponge or something like that. Works great.
Pickman says, what are you going to do to create more separation between the hair and the mecha jaw?
I'm going to wait until I get done here with this addition of color and the rust and everything, and then see how I like it, and then I'll brighten the hair up, right? So I always preach not to finish any one part of the model until you're ready to finish every part of the model, kind of a thing. And so I got the hair to where it was bright enough to make me think I was going in the right direction, and then I start painting all the other parts of the model around the hair. And then when I see, okay, because the coloring is very similar because we use the same colors for the hair as we did for the metal, right? But now you can start seeing that kind of environmental glow that the rust is giving into the metal by going just into the midtones and the shades. And I already knew where those needed to go because I created them, right? I put all that down there. And then I can stipple some other effects in here if I want it to go into the brighter areas, do some small points of rust, kind of dotting, because rust has a very organic way of settling in on a surface. And so that stippling effect can do a very good job of making it look like there's spots or loose flakes of rust and things. Because I can imagine he doesn't polish the gob, but it probably sees some action, gets banged up against things. And remember that as you run into stuff, and that it polishes edges, which is why we did the bright white along the edges of these things. But I can go back through and stipple and build up a little more color in the recesses if I want to. Now that I've got one layer that's fairly dry, I can create a little bit more of the orange rust. And again, I'm going to do the more orange towards the darker parts of these teeth, so I keep my contrast and my value the way that I've started setting them up intact, letting that black show through. It gives me a really good dirty metal feel building up. Do some on his eye.
Is that metal? I guess so, huh?
Yeah, it had a rivet in it, like so I treated it as metal.
Oh, yeah, okay. I see it. Oh, yeah, it's like a little metal plate.
Yeah, it's like grafted, which is weird because it looks like it's riveted onto his skull.
But he has a strap on it.
But then it has a strap on it, too, so.
Interested.
There you go. Whatever, dude.
Very interesting.
Whatever, dude.
Not a part of my fantasy.
Yeah.
And so now are you going to do the gun now?
Yeah, I'll do a little bit of the same thing up here on the gun. Again, just kind of paint the edges like I was panel lining almost.
Mm-hmm.
For all of this, and get around the rivets. And build up color on the low side of the rivet because gravity, doing gravity things. I guess I didn't really do that very well on the gob, but there's some rivets on the gob too. We'll go back over here and grab these rivets on the face of the teeth. And just kind of poke the loaded brush right underneath the paint. Just like panel lining, the paint will kind of adhere to the round shape there. So you don't have to draw a circle around it. You can just poke a couple times across the bottom and the paint will scale around the rivet to create that halo effect. And we only really want the rust to halo on the bottom side a whole lot. And the top side can fend for itself, kind of. That works really well. And on those, you can do what we did before. You can kind of just bring a brush stroke down from it as if it's dripping. And choose whether or not you want to hit that with your finger to blend it or just leave it. On these, I just left it, right? So you get that little drip effect like right here. Because I'm using so much water on the brush, it'll be somewhat translucent already anyway.
Is there ever a point that you would go to another color for rust?
Yeah, I'll do yellow next.
Do yellow next? Okay.
There's a rivet up here. I want to get that. And one down here. And then back up here. I've got this area I left dark underneath each of the teeth, so I'll just let the rust kind of go there and imagine that it blows out. It can, because rust is surface, like we were talking about the other day, it's a surface condition that is usually caused by loose particles on the metal.
Yeah.
You can basically do some really cool stuff with it and have it drip like water.
Yeah.
Right?
Because that's kind of where it's naturally tends to go.
Yeah. And now here, as it goes down this, maybe I want to go ahead and put a little bit over my white shine marks and then use my finger aggressively to smudge that so that I get that feeling of, you know, the rust is kind of leaked over it. I've colored a little bit of my highlight that way.
Yeah.
I can get some of this underside too if I want.
Now, because the gun right now is being pointed upward, could hypothetically the rust be anywhere on the model? On this part, technically?
Yeah, you can imagine, like, rust isn't a liquid, so it doesn't move immediately when you change for the direction for gravity's sake. It happens over time.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful on something like this that you don't just have the rust. Like on the gun, the rust might actually be more stronger towards the front end of this thing.
Yeah.
Which is something you have to make a determination because he's lifting it up, so you probably have a highlight or a shine up on the top, but that might be where the rust is heavy because you can imagine it being in his belt all the time.
Yeah.
And so where it stays the longest will cause the directionality of the rust to go. So I just paint it into midtones and shadows and just call it a day.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right? Like midtones and shadows would mean like this part of the barrel, which I'm really excited to do that. I think that'll give us kind of a really cool environmental glow against the rest of the shine of the barrel.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Right there.
Can you come up a little bit? There it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, if a gun was oiled and kept, you know, in oil, then it's not going to rust anyway. That's why you can get World War II era guns still, especially like Mosins and things like that from Russia and that are in great shape because they've been packaged in boxes of oil since World War II. So.
The Chronic Toast, 27 months. Arg! It'd be ORKTOBER, Orky first. That's right. Thank you, Chronic Toast.
But I do like the idea of there being rust on everything, so we'll put a little bit of that flavor on here.
I can taste that flavor. Now, what is this material on the gun? Is that
I don't know. I was going to treat it like bone.
I just noticed that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I was going to treat it like bone.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to that part, so. All right, now let's do a little bit of yellow. We've done the orange with burnt sienna. I do have orange, so we could do a little bit of just pyro orange.
Why would you do one over the other?
I mean, you can do them all, right? Because this model's big enough. The thing is going to really be judged on your scale of the model you're painting. The smaller the model, the fewer colors you can fit into an area without covering them all up.
Yeah.
You know, remember, we talk about that all the time, that when you're at a particular scale, you can put more color on a thing, right? So the burnt sienna and the orange are going to work really well together. I'm just going to put the orange kind of close to where I think the bigger rust would pile up.
Yeah.
Like maybe right underneath the rivets. I like that idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pop in close on that.
Yep.
So this is not nearly as wet, right? The burnt sienna was very, very thin. This you want to be able to get in here and like poke a little bit of color and have it stay there.
Just right underneath it, yeah.
Right.
Why does the water do that? Like, why is that one bit so vibrant?
Well, it might just be where it's where the oxidation is fresh is usually where the brighter colors go. But like that's not what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to give it some, not just be dirt color.
Yeah.
Again, we tend to push reality a little bit further into nonsensical states when we paint minis because we're storytellers who are having to convince people of things that don't really exist in our photograph, right? Mm-hmm. It's like if you took a photograph, or I took a photograph of you and your family, and I drew a stick figure and said, that's Chris's brother.
Yeah.
Nobody would believe it.
Oh.
Right? But if I went in and took some time to, you know, really overlay in Photoshop the picture of a guy who kind of looked like you and all of that, I could convince people that that was your brother.
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing here. You're either drawing stick figures and trying to convince people of the story you're trying to tell, or you're taking enough time to understand and detail it in a way that becomes readable. And for us, most people associate rust with being a kind of almost fake orangish color.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, you go look at it and it tends more towards browns when you see it in the real world. Because you don't, not everybody's waking up every day to see flash rust that happened overnight, on something. I didn't do any rust on any of this stuff, so I need to go back and add some color.
Would he keep those more polished?
Yeah, maybe his buckle is more polished. Just the gob has.
Pickman says, would you use Nova Orange to get a similar effect, but want to make the orange more subtle?
You could, yeah. I mean, you can use anything you want. It's really about, like, what is the story you're trying to tell. Sometimes you're battling contrast, right? So sometimes you've got the need to amp up your colors so that they can stay in line and visible with things like the brightness on the non-metallic metal that I've got going.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is otherwise the orange falls away into obscurity, so I'm putting a little bit more vibrancy on than I might normally.
Ave, we literally just talked about that similar thing. The rust probably develops where he stores his weapon, which probably isn't the same angle as he's holding it.
Right.
But if I do the rust streaks not following gravity in the model pose, it looks weird. How do you deal with this?
You just set your suspension of disbelief aside and paint it the way it looks good on the model. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Paint it the way it's going to look best for the figure you're painting. So that's exactly right. I would paint, unless I was going to do this for a judge that I knew the judge was going to say, that's not how that would happen, then yeah, you would just say, okay, well, on this model, it makes better sense to have my rusty colors away from the light so they become more of an environment reflection. And I won't do the orange on those parts, I'll just do the orange on the teeth on the gun handle over here, right?
Yep.
So I won't do the orange along the barrel. I'll just do it here.
Dave says, yeah, that makes sense. Really cool.
Yeah, it's always really cool, man. We're like I said, we're painting photographs, and you're trying to tell a story in something that is crazy and nonsensical to a lot of people. I always imagine painting my models so that, like, my grandmother could have looked at them, right? Because my grandmother wouldn't have known what the hell she was looking at. She'd be like, what is that? And if I had to hand it to my grandmother and not be able to talk to her, and I always stress to people, this is a great way to think about your work. Imagine having to hand it to somebody right? Because you need to know what they know and what they don't know. My grandmother wouldn't know anything about orcs in this sense, right? And so knowing that, how could I hand this model to my grandmother? What do I have to do to it so that without her being able to ask me any questions and without me being able to explain it, right? Because a lot of times we can be like, hey, Chris, take a look at this. I was trying to do blah, and this was my goal here, and da-da-da-da. And so you have the benefit of knowing what my intent was with things, so you'll see it clearer. But your grandmother wouldn't. And so what is she going to do? I want her to be able to come back, and I always imagined her being able to come back and say, oh my gosh, that looks like real metal that's rusted. She may not know what it is. You hand her something with a laser gun, and she's not going to know what the laser gun is. She's not going to know to call it a bolter or whatever. But if she can say, that looks like metal with rust on it, then you've succeeded. You've told your story to somebody who doesn't know. Because not everybody knows the content 100%, right? The IP and all that stuff. But they can definitely know that, oh, wow, those teeth look like he smokes a lot, And that, if that's the story I was trying to tell, that's the kind of accolade you want in your work. Just 100%. All right, now we'll grab some yellow. And for this, we're going to use Nickel Azo because it's the best damn color there is.
Lumberjack says, you forgot something, Fuse.
What?
Chris paused for response. A gold tooth.
A gold tooth, yeah. Well, good thing I'm not done. And I didn't say I would even finish this model, so. Only been painting a week.
Now, Briny Boy says, what if she asks you why you painted the orc green?
Well, there's a thing, right? Is that people are going to know it's not human. But they would be able to see that it has a little bit of life, right? It's got the pinkishness on the elbow they'd be familiar with, right? They can be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what green skin's supposed to look like, but. And that's the kind of thing you want to go for. Okay, again, I just want to kind of in the more mid-tone areas, basically close to where I put the oranges. I'll tap a little bit of yellow. Again, a little bit more water on my brush here. I don't want to overdo it and turn it like jaundice. There's a world where yellow on its own does not look like rust, but yellow in and around rust brings a reality or a more sensible feeling to just tarnish and oxidation to metal. metal takes on a lot of colors as it oxidizes, not just the rust color, but the color of the dirt that was on it and the environment around it. And so a little bit of yellow, I think, always works well for that. But again, staying in the midtones. Stay away from those highlights. As soon as you get one of these colors in the highlights, it's like pops too heavy. And now looks like you were intending to paint it a particular color, as opposed to this just being an effect or an environmental thing that happened naturally. But it is always good to go in and do the highlights before doing these effects, because now I've been able to tone my highlights down at the same time that I've been adding color to them, and that makes the surface look a little bit better and more truly affected by what you're doing here, as opposed to going in and doing the highlights afterwards.
Chronic Toast says, my grandma would probably say, that's an interesting George Washington.
Yeah,
that's
exactly,
funny.
Right? That's the fun stuff.
Oh, this is Captain Crump. He's chewing down all the cereal that he can get his hands on in the galaxy.
I'll put a little yellow on this one, even though we don't have rust, just as the kind of reflection of the gold coin above it.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. There you go. A little bit of rusty gob.
Nice.
A little bit of rusty fist. I can't imagine being hit in the face with this guy. This guy could give a whole new interpretation of pistol whipped.
It's definitely a weapon right there.
All right.
Nice.
All right. While I have some more burnt sienna out here, we can use that.
Oh, and this just goes right over the leather?
Yeah, I can add it onto my leather here. Kind of a hatching motion first to get some texture across the length of the belt, and then just kind of stipple in to not really blend, but to give me some texture on the leather surface.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have as much area here. It's kind of like playing Operation. We can pull it off.
Bones found in red clay have an ochre tone, while if they're found in black soil, they have gray and green, says Pickman.
Yeah, when in Colorado, when you would pull the bones, or the bones that would get uncovered during like a flood or something.
Yeah.
And then, and he lives close to where I did in Wellington.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And he's down south from where I was, but close enough. So the soil in Colorado that had kind of a clayish up by the mountains.
Yeah.
Whenever the big rush of water would come through and clear out the gullies, and bones would get uncovered, they would be that kind of coloring like you see me like to do, with more oranges in it. Orange tones in the bone.
Yes.
And yellows and things like that, whereas the ones that were out in the sun all the time, bleached raw, were like this grayish white, So
okay.
Bone, it just shows you like something like bone gives you the ability to do all sorts of fun things.
Yeah.
All right. What's next? I need to lighten that up somehow. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the red oxide tint that we have, the new one, as a highlight. I hate these tops. Our sample jar tops when we mix.
Oh, yeah.
They're horrible. They're horrible because they have a seal in them, and the seal, with the weight of the paint, never opens. Never lets you get into the bottle because it has so much paint on it.
So what color is this?
Red oxide tint.
Red oxide tint.
It's basically a flesh tone.
Right.
But it's a great way to lighten up warm colors, right, in a way that lets me not move them to that desaturated level that white does. You know, the white's been okay with the Payne's gray and some of the other colors, but I like to stay kind of in hue families, so to speak. You know, the burnt sienna is that orangey brown, and so I like to keep with that where possible when brightening or darkening the color. So obviously that's going to let me.
Yes, Pikmin, this is one of the newer colors.
Yep.
From the new expert paint
red oxide tint, one of the new 6 coming out.
And that's just a tint of red oxide, essentially.
Yeah, it's just red oxide and white, right?
It's an awesome skin color.
Yeah, it's a great way to get flesh tones started when you know, there isn't a flesh tone pigment. So
Now, Metallic Meatball says, Monument Hobbies, for those of us that aren't aware of the terminology in art, what are the difference between tints, tones, and shades?
great question. Tint is typically when you add white to brighten a color. Toning is when you add a neutral gray to a color to keep it at a similar value, but to desaturate the color a hair darker generally, or it just desaturates. It doesn't, because it's going value-wise, keeping it on point. It's not really darkening it or lightening it. That tone is just changing the color so that it sits and works well with itself. It can be like a mid-layer base color to go along with it by adding gray, and then a shade is when you add blacks or darker hues. I use Payne's gray a lot to shade things.
Can you come up a little, Jason? Oh, thank you. Man, that leather looks great.
Yeah, I want to move it away from my leather color or my rust colors a little bit, but I want to keep this. So I'm going to probably do a filter over it. So what I'm doing right now is just getting basically value sketching with color. We do it all the time, right? A lot of our shorts show this with Ryan doing it. I'll add in texture as I go to brighter and brighter colors to give it that depth, you know. Stippling, hatching, a combination of things that I use when doing leather, because leather scratches, but it bends and it lightens and wears where it bends because it's all typically stained, right? When you color leather, you're dyeing it, staining it, painting it. There's all sorts of ways that happens over the top of leather that's been tanned. All hides tan a little bit differently. So there's all sorts of really cool things you can do. No brush technique is off limits when doing leather as far as how you weather or texture it. So it can be a lot of fun. And you can do different things on different parts of it. But like you see me paint a lot at smaller scales when we do leather, a lot of times I'm just trying to get the texture to read. So I'll use dark umber, light umber, olive flesh. You know me for that. It's a big combo that I like to use for all leather. And then we go back over the top of that with a wash of some sort. So now I'll just go straight to the red oxide tint.
Roll for Paint Miniatures says, I finally got some of your paints. Rogue Hobby Set was one of them. And oh my, super happy with how they work.
Awesome.
That's super cool. Thank you for sharing. It means a lot to us that you gave us a chance and it gave us a whirl. Ave, did he say olive flesh? He did. He did. He got me all kinds of excited when he said olive flesh.
Don't think for a minute that anything he thinks is great didn't come from me.
That's true. That's right. He showed me the way. I can't deny that.
I remember what we were doing. We were up in Utah.
That's right.
when I showed him the dry brushing very quick with a top color.
That's right.
And
And
he
the
fell in
rusty
love with
metal.
that olive flesh.
Yep.
Oh, and that was the rusty metal one too.
Yep. Blew my mind. Lumberjack says, speaking of leather, I was at a truck stop the other day, and under the stall was a perfect example of written leather boots. Okay, if I didn't leave my phone in the truck, I was gonna creep that I took a picture of someone stranger's boots under the stall.
Oh, God, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, that's funny.
Classic leather boot.
You just had that road hard put away wet cowboy boot next to you, right? But you're like, hey brother, could I take a picture of your shoes?
It sounds like a painter to me when somebody's looking at people's texture on their boots under the stall. Like, dang, that's really good.
Yeah, right.
Worn leather boots, yeah. Pickman says, that reminds me that I need to pick up the metallic sets so I can try them out. They're great. That's what got Gabe into it. Yeah, the metallics are great. I love our metallics.
They're smooth. They're nice.
They are. Magnesium will change your life.
It really does.
Hands down the best shadow metallic out there. You could literally put any of our metallics over that and it's going to look great. Half Dog says, any tips for improving flow or for lighter colors? I found that they dry on my brush super fast.
Use a bigger brush. Bigger brush, load it with more water. A lot of times we get strapped in on miniature painting with using a smaller detail brush for your lighter colors because you're going towards your details generally with brighter colors. And you use a smaller brush and you have less paint and the paint dries quicker. And so a lot of it is not really anything to do with the paint, but it's that you may have moved to a smaller detail brush. So put more water, more dampness on a larger brush that goes to a better point. Do your details that way. Only use the crazy detail brushes like we have for like dotting eyes and final little bitty textures, and you have to work pretty quick and thin with them to pull that off.
Captain Animal says, I gotta say, watching Jason paint is simultaneously inspiring and frustrating. He makes it look so easy, but he also makes it look so freaking easy. Just put paint on the model. That's it.
All right, zoom in close on this one, because what I'm doing now is pulling this straight from the jar.
Straight from the jar, right there.
Straight from the jar, just so I can get a little bit more brightness, right? And you'll notice that I've been using like little hash marks, so I can do a little bit like this.
Come up just a little. There it is.
Right, so I can do little.
Oh yeah.
Some that have a little bit of weathering because of line work.
Oh, that's great. The texture is fun.
And then going back in and picking areas where I can blow that out with a little bit of stippling. It gives it a totally different feel. So being able to mix, right? We talk a lot about how when you do effects, you know, you pick a brush stroke. Well, you know, like if you're doing wool, you're going to primarily be doing stippling.
Yep.
Right? But when doing leather and other things like this, sometimes it's nice to be able to go in and do your stippling where you want it, you know, but also be able to do, you know, like a scratch. I could put a scratch like that. Right? And now it gives it a little bit of a different feel for how the deterioration or wear is across it.
The Chronic Toast says, all right, gotta bounce, candy time. Hey,
take it easy, man.
Thank you so much again for that sub. Have a fun, safe time
I think
tonight.
Chronic Toast was at the Utah thing when we did all that stuff we were talking about.
Really?
When you were learning the metallic. That time you went with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
When was that? That was in...
Am I staying in frame? I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job.
Oh, yeah, you're staying in frame. I was trying to see when that was. That was a long time ago.
3, 4 years? 3 years?
3.5. Mm-hmm. Terrence Watkins says, how can we fix the paint beading up after a varnish is laid down?
Paint beads up after a varnish is laid down. Explain what you're seeing. I'm not understanding. You put a varnish on and then you're trying to paint over the varnish?
Yeah, I think that's the question.
If you're going to paint over the top of varnish and with anything other than a wash, use a matte. Matte varnish, not gloss. Gloss varnish will cause normal paints to have a little bit of a problem seating on them and getting a tooth because it's such a slick, polished style surface.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be a little careful with that.
That's great. That looks awesome. We're super zoomed in, but from even right there, that looks fantastic.
Yeah, this is like the question where it was asked, like, when I go to lighter colors. So I'm using a number 3 brush right here with a lot of water on it. So it's allowing me to go, pretty long with the way my paint's lasting on the brush. But it is thinner in order to do that. So I'm having to kind of give and take. So I might have to not get the vibrancy that I really want right out of the gates and have to come back on some of these areas like this and poke a little bit more to get my values squared away the way I want them. It won't be as bright as I want it after I put the initial paint on there.
Terrence Watkins says, so do I need to use a matte varnish over the top of the gloss? Would that fix it? The paint won't stick.
It could. What are you trying to do? Help me out and let me know what you're trying to do. Why did you put the gloss varnish on there? To do a wash? Maybe?
So yes, the paint won't stick. So do I need to do the matte varnish of the gloss?
Just help me understand what the gloss varnish was for, and I can give you a better answer. If the gloss, a lot of people put a gloss varnish down so you can do a wash. Then you matte varnish over the top of that, and then keep painting. The matte varnish will lock your wash in, give you a better tooth for painting on top of. But if you gloss varnish wash, you need to then seal it again in order to be able to paint other paints on top of it, especially water-based acrylics. I guess I'm just going to use white here.
For the leather?
Seems silly, but that's what I'm going to do.
Painting Bite says, I love how good the teeth look. Color looks, what's the main color on that one?
That was that same color we just used. It was it started out as the same color as the red oxide tint.
And then you put a wash over it.
That we put, and then I kept adding white to the red oxide tint to get the brightness on there. And then I put the sepia color that we have. We have a sepia expert acrylic. All this is done with just the expert acrylics. I took sepia and just put a big brush load of water in, turn it, and filtered it over the top. And it gave me that smoker's teeth look that I wanted. It's super easy. The sepia is just a beautiful color.
Terrence Watkins says, going back to the question, I varnished the model a long time ago to keep the model safe until I was ready to paint it again so I could play with it earlier.
So that causes a problem in that now you have dust on the varnish and an oily surface. So during your painting, you can still matte varnish it and fix this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Just rematte varnish it?
Well, yeah, because time puts dust on models. And unfortunately, dust on models creates its own surface tension, right? That causes almost like eating with, Cheeto fingers and handling your models. Plus, if you've been playing with them, you got finger oil that's now attached to the varnish.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got all your hand oil from playing with the models, dust from the time spent between putting the varnish on and now coming back to paint. So you probably need to, I would hit them with, canned air or something real quick to get the dust off. I mean, you may not even see the dust at this point. And then, yeah, you can matte varnish them. Would be great. And then you'll seal. You may seal, just make sure you don't have any visible dust and stuff because you don't want to have that create you don't want cat hairs getting trapped underneath. And I laugh, but I've seen that happen way too many times.
Cat hair?
And we all know it happens.
Yeah.
You get like a cat or a dog hair from having, been goofing off with your painted model that's just been primed. And then you go to varnish it again and the cat hair gets stuck in the varnish. And now that's a feature now.
Yeah. Mo says, so does dog, cat hair. Yep, super sneaky, that pet hair. Scritches and scratches. Dings and dudes.
Scritches and scratches. And this is just white. Now, the nice thing about the expert acrylics is that you can thin the white down and it still has so much pigment in it that it can be super bright here, but not be so overly bright that it ruins the composition. So whereas with liquid acrylics on a normal model, I would not use a lot of white. Remember, we talk about this all the time. Here I can thin the white down, mix it with a little bit of the red oxide tint, and get a really great look very quick for just adjusting my values, getting a little bit of a brighter highlight going on here in certain areas. And it doesn't feel like I just, tossed white on the top of it. Right? Again, what I'm doing here is super easy. We'll have Chris zoom in real tight when I get finished so you can see
it's just scritches.
What's giving it. It's just the scritches. It's just the fact that I'm only painting in dots and dashes, deets and doots here, as opposed to any type of layering or real blending. I'm using the deets and doots to do my blending for me, which is super easy once you get the hang of it. And it comes down to your tools, right? And my brush is not particularly clean, so it's not like the brush is doing a tremendous amount of heavy lifting for me. A little bit. To highlight the inside edge of this hole for this thing I've done around the outside to work.
Panic Bomb says, I'm really tempted to use only experts to paint a model.
Awesome.
It's fun. It's a nice little challenge. Which doesn't seem that challenging when you just start doing it.
Nah, it's just mixing of color.
It's the same paint.
All right, now pop in close on this, and you can see there's nothing to my brush strokes that any of you out there couldn't do. It's really just scritches and scratches and knowing when to layer. Like you can see my big heavy brush strokes of that red oxide tint.
Yeah.
Right? But the big heavy brush stroke, the way I use it and the placement of it makes it feel correct. It makes it feel like it was part of the leather wearing because that's just how leather wears. It's a natural skin. It doesn't have a very symmetrical grain to it. It's not like metal. And so you can use a looser brush stroke. You can do deets and doots and slashes and stuff and get a really good look to it, right? Where when I did the metal, I used a lot of lines, right? Because metal's grain is very symmetrical. It has a patterning to it, right? Cloth has a little bit of a patterning to it, but it can be loose as well. So I did the cross hatching on the cloth for, like, you can imagine the weave of the fabric. But as it gets old, the weave pulls apart and stretches in places. The fabric itself is able to stretch. So you can be a little loose, but you want to have the directionality there, And so just using those kinds of textures as you go around the model is something where you can use your, a lot of people will tell me their big gripe in life is that I can't blend worth crap. Well, use that to your advantage then. I'm not doing any blending, right? We're not blending anything. This is 100% layered on this model. There's not a single blend on this model that I know of. Now, it's not done in that cell sage style like we talk about when we say, oh, I didn't blend anything. It's not purposefully unblended, right? It gives you the idea of blends by layering color over color and using, in this case, texture, right? The only way that you have transition from light to dark on the blue is the textures. Just less of the bright texture in the dark spots and more of it on the bright spots. And so you get a lot of really good contrast that way, too. I really like that bandolier strap.
I'm loving
really
this. This rust... I like that a lot.
Yeah, I thought I would want to put a wash over the leather, but I don't think so now. I thought maybe the burnt sienna would make it feel a little bit too much like the rust, but that red oxide tint is just a beautiful color, and it takes all the orange out of the burnt sienna by layering it on top. Yeah. So now it gives me a really good leather strap feel without it feeling like it's too close to the rust that we put on the gob. So that's pretty good.
Couple questions here. Is the expert acrylics less matte and finish?
Some of them are a little bit, but we matte them fairly. I mean, look, this whole model is expert acrylics with no varnish. So, the only shine you're seeing is where I've painted it.
Yep.
There's nothing shiny about any of this.
Stan says, Jason, would you say it's easier to learn and refine glazing techniques using the expert acrylics?
100%. 100%. Because of the intensity of pigment, they allow you to over thin them and get away with it and still get great results. Now, that can train you poorly if what you do is use the expert acrylics and then immediately go to the liquid acrylics. Because you'll say, oh, it's this much water I need. And then you go to the liquid acrylics and you put that much water in the liquid acrylics, you get no color, right? And you'll do 80 million layers to layer it back up, and that gives its own desaturation and flat feeling of color. You want to try to get to where you can glaze in a maximum of 3 steps over whatever area you're glazing. Now, that's not a hard number. Remember that when I teach, there's as many ways to paint as there are painters painting. People out there winning Slayer swords glaze 15 layers and 20 layers, and that's fine. They have a purpose and they have a direction they're going and a reason they're doing it. What it does is it teaches people that in order to glaze, I got to put 20 layers of paint down, and that's wrong. You use the amount of paint it takes to get the thing done that you're trying to get done. And in my opinion, most of what we glaze can be done in 2 to 3 passes, because you're trying to get color there. If you're just going for nuanced hints of color, that's where, you know, the multiple stacking layers winds up in the back and forth. But in general, if you're just filtering, which is what we're doing most of the time, adding a color to a shadow or something, 2 or 3 passes is all you should need. So getting used to thinning your paint enough to where in 2 or 3 passes it gives you the color you want without creating those tide stains, so you don't see edges of color, it blends along the edges, is something the expert acrylics will help you tremendously with doing. And then you just have to adjust when you go back to liquid acrylics to learn how to thin a little bit less in general, because the liquid acrylics can't have the same amount of pigment that the heavy bodies do. It's done and ordered. All your favorite colors in Pro Acryl. Awesome.
Nice.
Earl Dunk. Amazing. Welcome.
Cram Day.
Are there any videos or tutorials using the heavy warm white paint? I mean, tons. Baby J uses it a ton more than I do, probably. But it's great for highlights over the top of non-metallic gold. Like when I go to use that final last pinprick of highlight, like when I go to do my Blood Angels, and we'll go in and do, like, once the models are done with everything else and I want to go back and add that final punch of shine on the non-metallic gold, heavy warm white is probably the color I use, because it goes perfectly right after the bright pale yellow. Happy Diabetes Day, Mo.
Stan really wants, Jason, can you smuggle me some on your trip to the UK and post them to me at UK Post Office?
What's that?
The paint.
Oh, the expert acrylics. We can get you some. We'll figure it out. All right, people are asking, what are we doing about the hair? So we're whiting up the hair.
Just going for it over the highlights back, putting it back, essentially.
Yeah.
That's an interesting looking George Washington. That one stuck with me for some reason.
Go zoomed height,
Excuse
Chris.
me. Thank you. Earl Dunk said, I bought about 8 colors and I enjoyed using them over my other paints so well. Just to
Awesome.
replace the rest. Okay, cool. That's awesome.
That's awesome. I love
So
your
may as well replace the rest. That's right, Earl Dunk. Just bite the bullet.
Thanks for giving us a shot. That means the most. And then when it actually works and it becomes your favorite thing, that is what really drives it home.
That's why we do it. Call me Moldson. Waiting for my amp set. Nice. Can't wait to try some new color schemes. Is there a difference between the structure/behavior of Pro Acryl and the AMP paints?
Not really. It's the same general formulation. Some of the amp colors are a little less matte. They're still all matte finish. They're a little less matte. Dallas from Atomic Mass really likes to have a bit of sheen to his paints, but not so much like our satins. So we didn't bother to call them anything different, but they're not. They behave more like dark purple out of the bottle, or let me think, what are the other colors that might do that? That's really it. Like dark purple royal plum a little bit. They have a little more sheen than our normal matte. They're not like dead flat matte like our normal paints.
Sugar Rush, it's going to be a fantastic week next week. What are you talking about? It's going to go by so fast with all of the fun.
Dark jade, yep. Any of those dark colors that have very few pigments and that start with things like phthalo greens, phthalo blues, violets, they're going to be a little bit more satiny, only because if we put enough matting agent in them to get them to match the other paints, they gray out. Think coal black versus satin black. Coal black is grayer because of all the matting agent in it, but for that one we wanted it that way. But dark colors, when you put that much matting agent in it to get rid of the normal sheen that some of the pigments have, the way we do it, then it dulls it out too much, and we don't like that. We like vibrant shadows too.
Yes, Pro Taster mentioned it. Next Monday, November 3rd, we're going to be doing the Ork Review Challenge with me, Jordan, and Grant.
An orc review? You mean like dancing and...
An orc review. I like that. There could be a lot of dancing. No dancing. I will honor Jason's wishes. No singing, no dancing. Just pure business. Pure painting business. It's going to be fun. You should be. You're going to love it.
I'll be watching.
Maybe we'll have Jason... Jason will hop in here, and he'll be doing some texting to us, some chatting himself.
No, I won't.
Oh, you will.
Maybe I will.
You will.
Maybe I won't.
You'll intergrade, and then I'll go over here and be confused why Monument Hobbies is typing and have a very surreal Twilight Zone moment.
Maybe.
Jason, we're going to miss you.
You better.
No, we're going to miss you.
I don't want to go.
You
I have to, but I don't
You
want
have to.
I'm sick of traveling. I really am sick of traveling.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sick of traveling.
Hey, Jason.
It'll be a good trip, though.
We're going to miss you. You're gonna get
this
a lot
one's all
of business,
fun, not really fun, but business.
No, get one fun in there.
Business, fun.
There you go.
Business.
Just give it a little one fun. That's all you need.
Jason's going to enjoy all the horrible food. I always love when I go to the UK and they go, oh, they have a great restaurant in the hotel.
Six part business, 1 part fun.
Yeah, 6 parts business, 1 part fun. Sounds about right. I'm going to be hanging out with really cool people, so that's going to be good.
Cool.
We'll have a blast. I'll bring back all the wonderful stories. I'll leave on Sunday. I'm back next Friday, so you'll miss me all next week. But hopefully I come home rearing and ready to go, and we hit the ground running on the following Monday.
That's right.
Right? So thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us, watching some paint dry as per usual. We got a lot done on the Ork. I'm really happy with this guy, right?
He looks great.
Yeah.
It's been a happy ORKTOBER.
Yeah. That's my contribution.
The rust was very cool.
I've shown you a lot of things on this guy for being there's not really a whole lot of colors, but being able to use all of the expert acrylics the way that we did, all the mixing that we did, the way that you saw how easily you can apply them. I just use water. There's no mediums used or anything. Just water on my brush and expert acrylics, and you get a fantastic. Pop in close again.
Yeah.
You get a really fantastic, no texture, except for the textures that I put on the model. Lays super flat, no details covered. Gives me the ability to really control. One of the things I love about the expert acrylics is how easily, like we were talking about when you go through for glazing, how easily just a little bit of water lowers the opacity enough to do that first pass. If you watch my Just Do This video, where I talk about the first time you lay a color down, do it a little bit thinner so it gives you the foundation of your blend. Then the next coat of that same color, do less thin, so you add vibrancy. The expert acrylics just allow that to be seamless. It doesn't take a lot of thought. They really help solidify that. And then, of course, at the point where this model is, what I would have normally done is I would have done this, and then I would have grabbed the liquid acrylics and done all the detailing that we've been doing. Right? Yeah. Just because they, for getting to the point where you can do really tight, fine lines, are much easier to use for fine detail than the expert acrylics, because the expert acrylics start thick enough to where in order to get them to run fine lines, you feel like you're having to add a lot of water. So keeping the balance between vibrancy, opacity, and flow on them for fine details is a little bit tougher.
Yes, everybody have a fun...
base coats and midtones and first level highlights. Whoo, boy.
Have a fun night tonight, everybody.
Thank you so much, everybody. Stick around. Chris is going to find you somebody to raid, but make sure before you go, check out all the links. We do stream here if you're new, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona from Monument HQ. We'd love to see you back. So make sure to subscribe, follow. I don't know what Kick does, but we stream live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube simultaneously every day of the week. We love having you guys and gals here. Thanks so much for driving the content, asking the questions. Great questions all week long. We've had some fantastic streams. You got to meet the Monument team yesterday, which is awesome. Most of them. I think only like 4 or 5 people didn't show through, which is great. So thank you so much for putting up with our shenanigans on that. Hit monumenthobbies.com. Please support us. Buy some paint, buy some brushes anytime you've got a hole in your hobby situation. We can help pump. You should say you.
Pump you up.
We will pump
you
up.
There it is.
There we go. That's a new shtick. So thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Stick around. Show some love in the channel that Chris drops us in for a raid, and we'll catch you back here. Well, I'll catch you back here a week from Monday, but the team will be here all next week. Looking forward to hanging with you then. Adios.